Welcome everybody. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We're going to be talking about your, again, covering the updates for the last couple of months. I'm going to talk about a little bit financial reporting that's going to be coming up soon. And then we'll follow that up with a little sneak peek of a couple of things that are coming down the pipeline in the future. Start off with our next webinar will be October 2nd, 10 a.m. Again, the topics will be, ready to go. You'll get those. Well, we have them. Don't know what they'll be. Updates, obviously, but. All right, so PFA and MyWorks updates. We had several updates to both MyWork and ProFund Accounting. So to cover those, let me pop first into the ProFund Accounting updates. And first thing that we did is we did this what used to be a lot smaller. We made them a little bit bigger because we needed to make them a little smaller. So when you're in this kind of mode, there isn't tons of scrolling you have to do because not everybody has real big screens. So the real big squares, needed to go away, but I do understand you like the, different ones. The first thing is that we've done, everybody should be aware of, is we spent a lot of time on pretty much every single window, every single thing. All the windows have a little rounded corners. They'll have most of them will have a little, what are called gripper to make the sizing bigger and smaller. These, where things are stored are, basically where things are stored are different locations, so you'll have to reintroduce what screen and what size where you wanted things to be stored at on your system, respectively. We do have some other things we did. Again, we made certain internal things so you can pop up. You'll see spinners that work better everywhere, things like that. Just a lot of cleanup to happen. Mainly because the previous version that we had basically was consuming a lot of memory, and so we had to streamline and reduce, and then make it simple. If you use the same thing over and over again, it's better than creating something new each time. And so that's kind of what this goal of this release was, is to be able to use things over and over and over again rather than creating new each time. So call log, bill codes. The other thing we did is we did get the new account control in. So when you're on one of those, you can do a lot of different things with the new account control, switching it between the modes and things like that. So again, the idea here is a lot of this stuff updates correctly. If we the help button is better. The icon is correct. Just a lot of things that before in the older version we just didn't have set up correctly. So again, a lot of this took us 2.5 months to get all of the windows, every single window that we have in the new in the newer style like this, updated in place. Now there's still maybe some bugs, and there's still maybe some things that is a wrinkle because window used to work a certain way and we just forgot, we needed to add that piece back in. So some things got, changed, like this grid got reworked completely and how it does the job. As you can see, it's like really fast now on how it works. Just boom, right there. It doesn't have to, a lot of things there won't be a lot of waiting. So like here, if you go to accounting, you got the new account control again. This time it doesn't have the problem where if it doesn't have an account number, it won't show on. I think I did air. Where's air? There's air gas. No. So if we put an account number in, go back to 2006. But ARPs didn't used to show who it was paid to. Now it does. So that was the big thing in Make Deposits, was getting the description to show who you're paying it to, and then as well as any other data that you had on the memo or the description of the invoice. So pretty much that covers. There's been a lot of reports as well. Let's cover those for a minute. Usually I don't like to cover reports, but I'm going to talk about these. So if we go into, I'm just going to get the report runner up. If we go into the payables, the prepay reports were redone. There's one in here that, yeah, payment receipt report. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, we're gonna just look at the new open invoice report. That'll just be easier to look at. I just wanted to show you something different that came up with the newer reports as well. So the open invoice report. All right, low and high date. I don't have any dates, but doesn't really matter. This line at the bottom is part of the new, we got an update to the report runner. Eventually it will probably go back away. We have almost all the same stuff up here available. To make this, you can change the zoom here to 125, so you get the idea. We just couldn't make it disappear in the current release of the piece, so we have to show it. But we basically have the same thing up here, page of navigation. So again, this blue bar will go away, but for the next little while, you'll be seeing it on your screen. I just wanted everybody to know about that. To not be alarmed by it. And it's just part of the new control that a lot of changes has happened in the report writer that we use. And, we get basically, it's just a lot of things are really a lot faster, a lot smoother in there as well that they've done to improve the quality of running reports. I just wish I had some data here. But anyway, so you kind of get the idea. That's the report runner. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm looking at anything else that we did. Paul, can you think of anything else off the top of your head that we should mention?
No.
Okay, like I said, the biggest thing obviously was changing the menu around, having the different screens, all pop up the same. Having the little widgets set there, having the rounded corners on things to make it look a little nicer, having the appropriate benefits, kind of thing like that. Let's see, we have, oh, that's the old one. Yeah. Equipment groups. Showing these kind of the things, just kind of nice. Little things like that that make it a little easier to, digest and think whatnot. Payroll departments. But if you notice, I mean, everything comes up pretty snappy. Things don't usually, doesn't take too long even for the loads to happen here for data. So I've been working with people with a few road commissions like you've been aware of, and we've been coming up with the ability to do some generic financial reporting for a road commission. And let me see if I can get that going. Okay, so this is what we call our financials. So we've been working a lot in the development of these components, and so you'll see eventually a financials piece come up. And what this does is this allows us to figure out, and make it a little bit bigger here. This lets us look at and configure the financial reporting that we're going to be doing for a specific fiscal year. So in this case, I had the one in white shows that I have one created, the other ones are dimmed. I'm just going to go into 2020. I think my data is better fresh for 2019. So I'll go to 2019 and we'll load it. Yeah, of course there is. So when it loads, it asks you, how do you want to load it? And we're just going to we'll use previous year's actuals right now. See if that's going to work. So what this will do is this will use last year's actual data versus for generating a budget and for generating your balance sheet lines. Okay, so let me go back to here. So we have a little better screen to look at. So what we have in here is you have a set of budgets, and this is going to be every expense account at the level 4 level. So again, you might want to start looking at your chart of accounts and update your different level 4 names so that they show a little nicer. But again, this is just, every level 4 that has an expense account is going to show up on here. So again, you're going to be wanting to look at, there's a lot of accounts in here that probably shouldn't be listed for the budget, like probably your revenue accounts, but somebody's got an expense account in there. So you might want to, like I said, it'll be a check for that when you look at it. So these are all the places with, these are the revenue, my bad. So the white is in revenue, and I thought it was the opposite. Just bad morning. And the gray is the expenses. So these are your expense accounts, and these are your revenue accounts, because that's what you budget revenue and expense. So you can click on one of these and you can make an adjustment if you need to make an adjustment after setting the initial budget. So the budget from last year was this dollar amount, but you can change that. We also have trends down here that you can set. And what a trend does is it says this, local road maintenance, and this is a bad example, but just as an example, you may say, hey, we do 30 or 40% of our activity in the first 3 months of this, not just, 8% of our activity. So again, for 100% of activity, you have, 8.334 for the last 3 months, kind of a thing. So you may want to say in the budget. So we're taking advantage of some logic that we have to allow us to generate this budget and say certain months, and these are the one isn't necessarily January, the one is the first month of your fiscal year. So we happen to start in January for a fiscal year, but if you were like a 10-1, this would be, October, November, December, get the idea. So this is essentially the month of the fiscal year that you're incorporated. Eventually, on the reporting, we may be able to put in the actual physical month it is. All the budget reporting is going to be from the 1st to the 30th. I'm not going to try to have anything where we go to the 27th of a month or something like that. It'll be the first day and the last day of the physical month. For right now, we can talk about maybe getting into something like that a little later. But just to kind of show you, this would be how you can figure up all your all your budget dollar amounts. Then you would have, if during the course of the middle of the year you need to make a change, you can come in here and you can add in we can pick one of our revenue accounts and we can put in an adjustment to the revenue. It's this adjustment's going to be a negative $100 to the revenue. And so we'll go ahead, we'll add that in. Now you won't see that on here because this is just your opening budget. But when you run it, you'll see that when you run the report. When you run the financials, we call it. Also, part of the financials is a page that's a balance sheet. And so we're generating balance sheets based on level 3 accounts. So again, we have the description here. So if you click on it, this is your 201-003 account, investment accounts. If on that line, if you don't like the name of this, you would be able to change the name to something like, I don't want it to say investment accounts on my balance sheet. I just want to make it say, let's call it, boat money. So now when I run my balance sheet, I should see boat money instead of investment accounts. And then you can add, right now, I'm not sure if this one's working, but you can add more account numbers together to have a single line on your balance sheet. So again, this is just how it's configured. You'll kind of get used to it if you utilize these modules that we're building, but it's very powerful and very helpful to have. So then the end of it, we run what we call the financial statements. And here I'm going to load my 2019 budget I just did. And this is still kind of raw, so it may blow up, it may not, I don't know. It's been several weeks since we've played into it just yet, but okay, so our balance sheet shows up, and I believe in here I should be able to find my boat. And I think this one's, no, I don't think I will, because I see it. It's a gumble. You will see the boat eventually, kind of a deal, but it's just this is an old version of the software. I don't have the latest. And then the budget details. And here we have, basic budget details that show the budget, the actual, the totals, variances, things like that. Again, the data is not calculated quite right, so we're still working on it. It's just, I want to show you what's coming. So, as you're looking at possibly entering into budgets, we have something coming up that's going to be a lot easier to use and maintain for the road commissions. So again, these are the two main reports coming out of it. And then for the budget, there's also going to be your monthly budgets generated. This right now doesn't generate it, but eventually there'll be M1 through M12 monthly budgets that we'll have. Each page will show each month, and this will be, you can save it to Excel, and you can print a single page from Excel, kind of a thing. We just wanted to build something so that it has the ability to do. A lot of this is formalized. So like if you come down here and you look at the totals, if I were to key in a value, let's make sure I get the right column keying in. So yeah, if I were to key in a value here of 33, I think it adds it down. Yeah, it adds it down here. So, I mean, these are active Excel, values that you can play with it if you want. The idea though is that you shouldn't really have to put your budget in, because it will calculate from your actual data, the dollars coming in. Let's see. Okay, whew. That's I'm gonna leave it there for now. Is there any questions about what I just covered? Our final piece is very similar to what we just looked at, and that's going to be the next update. You'll see the update soon. But there's a piece of the update that's coming that will be, how do I explain it? Subtle and non. You'll get the idea. And that is we're going to try to build what's called an Act 51 helper. So the idea is this is going to try to get you through as much of the Act 51 for all of the standard updating of the data. In report, all of the main pieces of the report that come straight from Cogitate. There's still other sub sheets and schedules that happen on it, so it's not going to be complete. But I'm assuming if we get started on it, then year after year after year, we can keep enhancing it to add a little bit more as we all become comfortable and suggest that we all do something. The right problem right now is everybody does things just a tad different at each road commission, so building something that's uniform for an Act 51 is quite challenging. But I think we want to start looking toward building something that is going to work for every road, almost all the road commissions. And again, still allowing the flexibility if you do something a little differently at your road commission to continue to have that flexibility. But the beginning of that is simply in now, normally in accounts, you see the old account manager, and this is its replacement that we're working on. So this is the new, GL account manager is that eventually that you're going to get to. But we've added one extra piece, and this is what Act 50. So like on this account, this is a bad account number. This is a play fund. Let me get down to something that's real. So like here we have our operating cash. So what Act 51 line number that would show up on is the cash. And then you could come down through here. And if you didn't want to have to specify every level 7, you could just specify the level 3. Change that. And mark that as cash. I think I did. I think I had it already marked as my problem. So level 2, 002 is the savings. You want that to be reported as cash. Kind of a thing. And so you get the idea as things goes on. I'm not very good at it right now. Eventually, we're going to have a mapper that will map. We're going to start at the level 3 for the Act 51. So in other words, what this means is what I set was instead of just one level 7, I also set everything that's at level 3 of the account tree. Everything underneath that is going to be reported as the cash. So if you go to your distribution report and you look at, a distribution report and you see the total there, that it will equal then what we bring over in the cash when we generate the Act 51. We haven't started the Act 51 generation yet, but I just want to let you know as a sneak peek, it's going to be coming. We're going to have something available for you to, to aid in generating that report for the state. So just keep your eyes open for it. We'll be having more sneak peeks on this as time gets closer, as well as doing with the budget lines. And then so to kind of looking forward in where Couch State's headed, this is kind of all we're going to be doing for the next probably month and a half. Then we're going to be drifting into the time where we have to do all of the ACA reporting, and everything has to get switched to the online version. So we're generating that right now. So if we go into human resources, where's the ACA reporting, Paul? Payroll again? Yeah, ACA tax reporting. So this all has to get moved to, you'll still do it here, but coming out of here, then you can print the report, but you can't send the reports to the government anymore. They're only allowing you to generate an uploaded file that we have to put together so that you can upload the file to the ACA transfer portal page or whatever that they're calling it. It's a big pain in the butt. It's part of why we've been doing the ID.me so that you'll have your account numbers and privileges set up for that. So that's kind of the road ahead. That's going to take us from probably the middle of October all the way through to December of programming and development to get, because we have that, we have the 1099s, and we've already had the W-2s available for uploading, but we have to get the 1099s and the this ACA stuff set up to go through their electronic portal. So that's kind of where we're pointing to for the next little while. If you got any questions about any of that?
You are now working smarter with ProFund Accounting. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.